Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Full Court Press Basketball Debate, May 26th, 2015. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juno. Playoff basketball as usual. Some surprises around the league, and more headlines coming out about the offseason. We're here to discuss it all today. We'll start with last night. The Houston Rockets down 3-0 at home. James Harden blows up for 45 points and leads Houston to a Game 4 must-win. Yvonne, how surprised were you by this outcome, and what do you think Houston did differently in this game, aside from the other three?
Well, what I was surprised about the most is if you watch the game from 2 nights before, where they lost by 35 points, and then to come back the way they did last night, it was incredible. It was like I was watching two totally different teams. It really was. Let's try not to lose any of it this time. If you have to take breaks and stop and download it. Anyway, and James Harden was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. But the whole team, James was phenomenal, yes. But the whole team was playing with more aggression, more desire, and a lot more skill. I know they have, okay, I'm not surprised that they played the way they did, and I'm not surprised that James Harden ended up with 45 points, because we all know they have the skill and the ability. That's not a question. That's not the issue. The desire was there last night, and it was obvious, and it was evident. And in part two, to your question, what did they do differently? They came out ready to play. They jumped on it. They got points immediately, and they were ahead, and they played like it was the fourth quarter from the very jump of the ball. And they took off like they wanted it. They took off like they wanted it, they needed it, and they knew it was a do or die situation. My question to you, Chris, is why does it need to get to that point to make them play with the ability that we know that they can play? And I do not want to talk about Dwight Howard and his shenanigans and some of the stupid things that he did last night. The ability is there. The skill is there. I don't know what happened, especially in Game 3. I mean, it's like polar opposites. Last night's game and the game before. I mean, it was like watching two totally different teams. We know what they can do. Last night was proof.
I have to admit I was shocked by the outcome last night, because I don't think any human being on the face of the planet expected Stephen Curry to take that fall and be out for a quarter and a half. I don't think...
Well, we hadn't even talked about that yet.
I don't think anybody expected Harden to go for 45. I knew he was going to have a big game. 45, that's a little bit more than a big game. But the main difference, I thought, between Game 3 and Game 4 was no doubt their aggression and their determination.
Yes.
But what I said from the get-go, they're role players. Who was the first person in double figures for Houston? It wasn't James Harden. It wasn't Dwight Howard. It was Josh Smith.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about the same Josh Smith that in the semifinals against who they play in the I don't even remember who they play. The Clippers.
Yeah.
Against the Clippers, averaged what, 16, 17 points a game, and then in this series he's averaging.
He has come such a long way.
But in the first 3 games of this series, he was only averaging 7.5 to 9 points a game.
I know.
It's like a dramatic drop off, and in this game he scores 23.
I know. He exploded.
Look.
Oh, and let's not forget about Ariza.
It's the role players.
Oh my God.
The role players in Houston for Houston are the reason they came back to beat the Clippers. It wasn't about James Harden. It wasn't about Dwight Howard. It was about one game, it's Josh Smith. The next game, Jason Terry's hitting big shots, who had a big game in this game,
Yes,
by the way.
he did.
The next game, it's Trevor Ariza, who, by the way, has a ring. A lot of people forget about that. He has a ring.
No, I know he does.
The next game, and in Game 7,
I don't think he gets enough credit.
and in Game 7 against
I
the
don't
Clippers,
think Ariza gets enough credit at
Pablo
all.
Prigioni.
Yeah.
Okay? In this game, you saw those players step up again.
All of them.
And
Yes.
here's the difference.
Yeah.
Houston's waking up today. Yeah, they got to travel to Golden State, but damn it, we're still alive.
Yeah.
You know, don't count us out yet.
Yeah.
But Game 5 is going to be a whole different world because you're in Golden State.
That's number
It's a new
one.
environment. Who knows what Stephen Curry's health is going to be like? He
Well,
says
yeah,
he's
that's
fine.
a very big fact. You know what can happen between now and tomorrow night?
He says he's fine. I'm sure I'll get ESPN updates. I'm sure it'll be all over the news. But
Oh, I'm sure it will.
so you're not going to talk about Dwight Howard's elbow to Andrew Bogut, and if it was justified?
Okay. Yeah, I will talk about it in one respect. Okay? Night before last. Night before
Or the game
last.
before?
No. Night before last. They ejected Horford for what I would call, yeah, maybe it was a little excessive.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more in
As
detail.
he was going, well, I didn't know what the lineup was.
Mhm.
That's why I didn't.
That's
wanna
our
bring it up
third
now.
topic.
Okay, it was a little excessive as he was coming down. Yeah, it was on
Dellavedova.
Yeah, on Dellavedova. Now let's don't forget also though that this is Dellavedova's third incident in 3 games where he has dived either at somebody's knees, somebody's ankles, somebody's feet. The point remains, the fact remains, and I don't agree with Jeff Van Gundy very often at all, but he nailed it last night. If you're going to eject somebody and call it a flagrant 2, if you're going to put flagrant, either 1 or 2, on the title of anything that a player does, it needs to be consistent. Why was it not okay for Horford to do what he did and got ejected from the game, which I think was totally uncalled for? A 1, yes. A 2, no. And last night, there is no doubt, because they played it at least 12 to 15 times, of Dwight Howard turning around. Yeah, Andrew Bogut had him in some sort of arm lock or whatever. He turned around and hit him on the side of his face hard. If that is not a flagrant 2, what is? Why is it okay one night and it's not okay the next night? There needs to be more consistency.
That I'll agree with, but what highlight were you watching? Because the highlight I watched, Andrew Bogut shoved Dwight Howard in
Yeah.
the back twice.
Yes, he did.
Howard elbowed him out of retaliation. The reason that's not a flagrant is because Bogut started it. If Dwight
Like
Howard...
shoving somebody in the back and hitting somebody in the temple with a doubled up
shoving
fist?
him twice in the back for no reason. The ball's not anywhere around those two gentlemen at that point in time.
Oh, they were having a tussle. I know.
And Bogut decides to shove Dwight Howard in the back twice. Please understand, I am by no means defending Dwight Howard elbowing Andrew Bogut in the head.
He
I am
didn't
explaining.
elbow him.
Yes, he did.
Punched.
No, he threw the elbow back like this.
But that's not what landed on the side of Bogut's
Yes,
head.
it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It was a doubled
He
up fist.
threw his arm back like this.
Right.
And his elbow ended up right here.
That's not what I saw.
Bogut shoved Dwight Howard twice. The reason it's not a flagrant,
I'd like to see that play back again.
the reason this is not a flagrant foul is because Andrew Bogut shoves Dwight Howard first. If Bogut
They're
doesn't...
pushing and shoving all over the floor.
No. There's a difference
And grabbing each other's
there is
jerseys
a difference
and-
between pushing and shoving and
Pushing off.
making it, and I don't know how to explain it, and making it a blatant, deliberate action. That's what Bogut was doing.
Okay?
And I can show you right here. This is the reason it's not.
I saw a doubled up fist to the temple or the side of his head. Even Jeff Van Gundy said that.
It wasn't a fist. Let me see.
I don't understand why. Well, I think the call of Horford being ejected completely, which also, by the way, means he's got to sit out this game. You realize that? A flagrant 2? He was ejected and he has to miss the next game.
Look at this. Watch down here. Watch what Bogut does for no reason. Look at this. You gonna tell me Dwight Howard flailing like that? Look at this.
Fist in the face.
He had his hand like this. Watch again. His hand is open as he comes and hits it. But you mean to tell me, look at what Bogut's doing. You mean to tell me that's not justified?
You saw that?
You mean to tell me that that is not justified? Dwight Howard did nothing but try to get in position to get a rebound, which is what a big man is supposed to do. That's a big man's job. And Andrew Bogut is going to shove him in the back twice? I'm going to retaliate too. On my home court? You're not going to do that to me. You're not going to do that to me.
Okay.
And we want to talk about Dwight Howard's history. Let's talk about Andrew Bogut's history a little bit.
Dwight Howard is known.
And Andrew Bogut's not?
I don't know enough about
Andrew Bogut's not known for trying to bully people like that? That he knows he can't get? Are you kidding me? If Andrew Bogut, this is game 4, do or die situation.
For Houston,
In
yeah.
Houston. If I'm Dwight Howard, I'm not letting Andrew Bogut shove me around like that on my home court. Are you? Who the hell do you think you are? That's the reason. If Dwight Howard just decided to do that, like he's known for doing, I will concede that fact to you.
He is known for that.
I will concede the fact that he has made a history of doing that.
Do you think that the one from the night before was warranted?
We'll talk about that. I will concede to you that Dwight Howard has a long history of elbows and hands and shoves, okay? I will concede that fact to you. What I will not concede is that that was a bad no call. That was a great no call by the best referee that we have in Joey Crawford, because he went back at that tape and he looked and he saw Andrew Bogut shove Dwight Howard in the back twice
The little bulldog.
no reason. No reason. It was warranted.
Papa can't stand him as a ref, and you love him.
It was warranted. That hit to Andrew Bogut, you know what? I am almost inclined to say that Bogut deserved that. Because you don't do that to somebody. You on his own home court? Who do you think you are? Let's compare the two. Come on. I don't know who Andrew Bogut thinks he is.
Well, I don't understand. Well, why did Dwight Howard, though, have to take it to such lengths?
Because it's what else do you want him to do? He's not facing him. So he's not going to turn around and go, because that's an ejection. So the easiest thing to do is go like that. Get off of me. Stop shoving me.
I guess his reputation precedes him. So
I mean, that was warranted. I'm sorry. I don't defend stuff like that very often. That was warranted. Had Bogut not shoved Howard in the back twice, that's a flagrant 2, an ejection, yes. But because Bogut stirred the pot, as he is so very known for doing,
yeah.
that's why it's not a flagrant. That's the explanation as to why.
I do agree with Jeff Van Gundy that why is it okay one night and it's not okay?
Oh, I agree. I completely agree that they
mean,
need to be more consistent with
The
it.
inconsistency of a
But
lot
that
of things.
that one
Not
was
just
a great no call.
not just about that, okay? There is inconsistencies all over the place about different things.
Oh yeah, there absolutely is.
Oh my gosh.
I agree. Now, will this series go past Game 5? Why or why not?
No. Well, I think it depends on how Curry's doing. Now, did you notice what a difference it made when Curry was taken off the floor? For those of you that don't know, would you explain what happened?
Well,
With
Trevor
Stephen Curry.
Ariza was under the basket, faked a layup, and we see it pretty much once a week in the league.
Yeah.
During the regular season, Ariza goes for a shot fake. Curry goes up, jumps real high to block it.
Very high.
And all Ariza did was fake. He didn't move or anything.
Well, he bent down. When he bent down, that caused the rollover.
Curry flipped, heels and
Flipped
feet
over.
caught Ariza's shoulders and flipped and hit his head on the ground. It was pretty nasty, but he got taken off for about a quarter and a half.
His arm, his shoulder.
But he came back out, finished the game, said he was fine. So
Okay. Now, after that happened, 2 or 3 of the Golden State players really stepped it up. Klay Thompson for one. I mean, I don't understand why one of your star players has to get hurt to that extent for you to do and come out and do the best that you can do. Why isn't he doing that all the time? Okay? Unless he got a fire in his belly and he got pissed off that it happened in the first place, and he felt like, well, if he's not here, I have to be more responsible and I have to step up to the plate.
he has to be more
which is
responsible
great.
when he is there.
Okay? Right. I agree. But I mean, the difference in the way they played. Now, when Curry came back, Curry did not play like Curry can play.
No, but Curry was on the floor, and him just being on the floor is a threat.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's why momentum shifted when he came back.
Now, until tomorrow night, when we know what kind of condition he's in, you say you've gotten no bulletins. So we both know he's got a hell of a headache and shoulder pain today. He hit that floor hard. Now, if there are no lasting effects of this or repercussions from this, it's going to be amazing. Okay? Now, do I think that they should have put him back in the game? No, because they were losing anyway. They should have let him sit out the rest of the game with the off chance that he had something that maybe hadn't shown up yet.
I get it, but I think he came back out there to prove a point. I really, truly did.
That what? He's indestructible? Nobody's
No.
indestructible.
No, I think he came back out to prove that, hey, down but not out. And we're not going to go down without a fight here. I'm not going to go down without a fight. I'm going to prove that I'm the superior here.
I agree.
I think he came
But
back
not
to
at the
prove a point.
risk of his career, his health.
Look at what Chris Paul did.
I know.
I mean,
I know. So, will this...
I am going on the fact that Curry, because in the press conference, he was extremely coherent. He was looking around. He was blinking just fine. He had no
Right.
lazy eyes. He didn't have any signs of a headache or anything. I'm going on the fact that Curry's going to be 100% because he's got a day to rest. So I'm going to say that Curry's going to play at 100%. And
Oh, and if he does,
yes, this series
he's
is
going
over.
to play the hell out of it to make up for last
And
night.
this series is over in Game 5.
I agree.
LeBron James gets a massive triple-double, and the Cavs go up 3-0 with an overtime win at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Let's give some analysis on this game.
First, before you start with your stats and your analysis, do you realize that now he has moved up in the ranks to where getting a triple-double in the playoffs, the only person who is ahead of him all time is Magic Johnson. He passed up Reggie Miller. He passed up, who else?
MJ.
Yeah. The only person. And guess how many he would have to make to pass up Magic Johnson? Magic Johnson's got 30
Yeah.
triple doubles in playoffs.
Yeah.
all of the analysts and announcers last night were like, how many?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which makes you wonder if Magic's career had not been ended so quickly, what would he have done?
He would have been better than Jordan. I've been on the record as saying that.
I agree.
He would have been better than Jordan.
I agree. What a shame. Oh, yeah, yeah. LeBron was something. And you know the kick in the butt about the whole thing? He missed his first 10 shots. But when he really buckled down to playing,
I got mixed feelings about this. First, I'm actually going to credit. I'm going to attack question B first to analyze LeBron's performance. You're up 2-0 against the number one. Let's analyze this. Let's break this down. You're up 2-0 against the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, the team that 60% of the nation says is going to represent the East in the finals.
that's what I thought.
As if that's not bad enough, you go for 37 points. And if that's not bad enough, let's get a game-high 18 rebounds.
Oh, he was,
And if that's not good enough, let's get 13 assists.
yeah.
And let's do all of this while starting 0 of 10 from the field.
I know. What happened? Papa said the light switch went on.
Here's my problem. I have an extreme problem with this. Is that what it takes to beat Atlanta?
What do you mean by that?
Does LeBron have to do that much work?
Where's the rest of the team?
Why did he have to do that much work? And this is not going for all of the Cavaliers players, because where in the hell has Iman Shumpert come from?
I know.
Okay? I think Tristan Thompson has just been sensational.
I didn't even know who he was until this.
I thought Timofey Mozgov was good in this
Yeah.
game. J.R. Smith was, he had his moments. But,
Yeah, but remember 2 games ago with JR?
yeah, okay, that's 2 games ago.
Oh my God.
That's 2 games ago.
You don't expect them to do that every time they play.
I don't, but I expect LeBron to get some help. 37, 18, and 13. And you win by 2.
And he got all of the rebound, and he had a multitude of rebounds and assists before he even made a basket.
And you win by 2 in overtime.
Yeah,
At
they went to
home.
overtime. Yeah,
I have a lot of problems with that.
yeah.
Because even LeBron James is not going to do that every game.
No,
As
nobody can.
as good as he is, he's not going to do that every
Nobody
game.
can.
So I am starting to wonder, Yvonne, how much is the absence of Kyrie Irving affecting this
it's
Cavaliers team?
greatly.
How much of an effect?
That is the first thing I was going to
How
tell you.
much-
That and
How much of an effect is the absence of Kevin Love
very much so.
starting to have
Very
on
much
this
so.
team? And is that going to be a problem when they face probably the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, but
It
you
could
have
be.
always gone on the record, I'd like to remind you, as saying there is no way, because there's nobody, who are you going to put up against LeBron?
Nobody.
Okay.
There's nobody that can guard LeBron, especially
Okay.
on Golden State, because they're all offense.
Right.
Who you can put on
Not
LeBron?
only that, they're little.
Who you can put on LeBron? Draymond Green?
Right.
He's going to school Draymond Green.
Right.
Yes, and Draymond Green is a fantastic defender. The problem is,
Oh, he's got a mouth on him.
the
though.
problem is, LeBron is not intimidated by the name Draymond Green.
Oh,
Okay.
Draymond's got a short fuse. He's got a temper. He's got a mouth
I
on him,
have
and
a-
he gets in foul
I have a
trouble.
problem with this because, honest to God, I thought Atlanta was the better team in this game. I thought Atlanta as a team played a better game
Yeah.
than Cleveland
So
did
did I.
as a team. But Atlanta doesn't have a LeBron.
Right.
So,
I think Kyrie Irving not being there is just absolutely disastrous.
look, don't get me wrong. It was a great win for Cleveland.
Oh, absolutely.
And
LeBron deserves a multitude of credit.
he deserved pretty much all of the credit. He deserves
absolutely.
95% of the credit.
But there's no I in team.
Well,
And he is the one who won that game. He's the one that won that game for
now,
them.
they play game 4 tonight.
Yep.
Is this a sweep?
They're playing
In Cleveland.
In Cleveland? Yeah.
I agree. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I do. I think tonight is when the Cavs win, and I think tomorrow night,
Yeah.
Golden State's going to win.
Now let's talk more in depth about this game. Al Horford was ejected in the second quarter for a flagrant 2 foul against Matthew Dellavedova, and he will not face further punishment. Usually what happens with a flagrant 2 is
They have to sit out again.
nope, not in this case.
Why?
They overturned it. He will
When
not
did
have to
that
sit
happen
out.
today?
Last night. They will.
didn't know
He will
that.
not face further
Is
punishment.
it because of Dellavedova's history in the last
Well,
3
let's
games?
talk about that.
Well, I don't know about it.
Let's just talk about, because Dellavedova, look at number 7. We're going to tackle Dellavedova himself in
Okay.
question 7.
Okay.
Let's talk about the play itself and
Okay.
the call that was made.
Okay.
Was this right? Why or why not? Was it the right call? Because there are those out there that say that it was the right call. And there are those out there that
Was
say
what the right call?
flagrant 2. Is that the right call for what
No.
happened? Why or why not?
No.
There are those out there that say that it is. There are those out there that say that it
I
aren't.
don't think so.
Now you have to explain why.
Because I don't think that he was deliberately trying to hit him in the back of the head as he was going down because of the way that he was going down. And with Dellavedova's history, the last 3 games, he has done something to 3 different people. Start with Taj Gibson. Okay? And then after that, oh my God, what he did to Corver. Which Corver's not going to be able to play anymore for the playoffs. That has been detrimental to the team. And now you got you got Horford, that he did that too. I have a lot to say about the fact that he can defend and he can be a defensive player and he can make his point known and he can retaliate without always diving for somebody's ankles, feet, knees, legs, or whatever. He has gotten the reputation for that, and I think those are dirty tactics.
I'm inclined to agree with everything that you just said. Except when I look at the highlight. Because if you look at it in real time, there is no question about Dellavedova diving at Al Horford's knees.
I agree.
There is no question. There's also no question that Al Horford delivered one to him, on purpose or not. But when I look at this highlight, and I'm going to break this down for you because I have it up right here. I wish we were videoing so I could show this. If somebody dives at my knees from the side, because that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Okay? This
You're going to buckle.
immediately.
Absolutely.
That's not what happened here. In real time, it looks as if Dellavedova dives at his knees, Horford tries to regain his balance, and ends up falling. But when you slow it down, that's not what happens. What happens is, Dellavedova dives at his knee, but he barely clipped him. He barely clipped Horford's knees. And what
It doesn't
happens
take
is,
much to throw you off balance
And what-
when you're in the middle of moving.
and what happens is, Horford looks back like this, sticks his arm out, and goes down. I'll show you. In real time,
No.
it doesn't look like it. Watch right down here. Okay? It doesn't look like it right there. But watch when they slow it down. Watch the pause from when contact is made to when Horford goes down. See this? Okay. Dellavedova comes right here, okay? Horford should fall right now. Horford should have fallen right there.
But he's already off balance.
No, he's... Horford should fall right there. He should fall immediately, but look.
He went to regain his balance and lost his balance again.
There is a pause, Yvonne. Right here is when Horford should fall. If Dellavedova got all of the contact, Horford's leg, any human being, if you get clipped from behind like this, it's what you call a dead leg. If you get clipped from behind like, just doing this to myself, my knee gives out and I fall immediately. That's not what happens. There is a pause. See this? That pause right there is what got the officials. Right here, he should fall. Right there. But see, you see his arm come up like this? That's what got the officials. The more I look at it, the more I see why they gave a flagrant 2. But if I was official, if I was an official...
I disagree completely.
Wait. If I was an official, because look at me right now. Listen to me. I have to ask myself all of these questions. Okay? If I have to ask this many questions as to whether something was deliberate or not, it obviously wasn't that damn deliberate, was it? Because if something is deliberate, you know it. I mean, is that correct? If somebody throws an elbow...
Let's start with step 1. The first deliberate action was Dellavedova diving for his knee.
Okay. I have a problem with that because I don't think he necessarily dove at his knee. Korver, he dove at his knee. This one, Horford and Dellavedova are tangled.
Yeah.
And Dellavedova ends up tripping and he goes down at his knee. Okay? I don't call that diving at an opponent's knee. Korver, he dove at his knees. Taj Gibson, he dove at his knees.
Yeah.
This one, not so much. But
he could have eliminated Korver's career.
But
the
we're
way
not,
that ankle was twisted.
But we're not talking about Korver.
Yeah, but we're talking about a pattern of behavior.
I think because if something is deliberate, you know it right away. If somebody throws a deliberate elbow...
I disagree with that because it can look one way in the heat of the moment and in fast action, but when you go back and you analyze it, you can see that there were extenuating circumstances, and that's what I think.
But see, that's my point.
Yeah, but that's what I think happened with Horford.
If you go back...
The elbow came out, yes, but he did not deliberately fall ready to do this to the back of his head.
He might not have.
And by the time he got to the ground, they were tangled up.
But you have to call what you see. That's the thing about being an official.
Okay, then what's the replay center for?
That's what they did. That's why the game stopped. Because they went and looked back at all of that. Mm-hmm. You have to call what you see on that film. Because you don't know extenuating circumstances. You have to call what you see on that film.
I think Horford was thrown off balance, tried to regain his balance.
Okay, but...
Still couldn't regain his balance.
Here's the thing, though.
Went to fall down, stuck his elbow out,
But Yvonne, human anatomy says that if you are clipped at that spot where Horford was clipped by Dellavedova,
You're gonna go down.
you fall immediately. Horford did not fall immediately.
You've never gone to fall and then and caught yourself.
Not when I'm.
And then
You come up
caught
behind
your balance
me.
again.
If you come up from behind me and you go at my knees, I'm going to fall. Because going at your knees from behind debilitates your legs. To any human being. I don't care how big or how small they are.
Oh, this is one of those that we're gonna have to
Because if I do this to myself, I'm going down immediately. And notice the way I'm going down too. I'm going forward, not backward, not backwards. So that pause.
No, he didn't go backwards.
Yes,
at first.
he did.
He stepped to the side to try to regain his balance.
Right, and then he falls backwards like
Because
this.
he couldn't gain his balance
It's that
back.
pause. It's that pause. But here's my point. A flagrant 2 is a deliberate action. There is no way to tell, because listen to me, I'm asking myself all of these questions, and I'm taking in all of this into account to determine if something was deliberate or not. So how can you call that a flagrant 2? That's my point. If you don't know for sure whether it was deliberate or not, I don't think you can call a flagrant 2.
Okay, and the deliberate action was initiated by Dellavedova.
Okay, but another reason I don't think you can call it a flagrant 2.
And where did the technical for Dellavedova come in? They're still asking themselves, why did they call a technical?
Well, that's a very easy answer, because this is the third time he does this. It's the third time he does this.
In a row.
Uh-huh.
Right. Then shouldn't have been more severe than just a technical?
Not for that play. For that
There are
play.
those saying that he got up and he was running his mouth.
He was. But I don't think that's why he got the technical. That's what they're going to tell you. I don't think that's why he got the technical. I think he got the technical for the refs to prove a point. That you need to stop this. You need to stop this.
I think they should have both got ones.
I don't think you can give Dellavedova a flagrant 1 for that play because he's tangled up with Horford. If he wouldn't have been tangled up and he would have come and dove like this, like he did to Korver, yes, that is a flagrant 1. I'm inclined to agree with everything you are saying. But the fact
He
that
shouldn't have even
Horford,
been playing last night after what he did to
the
Korver.
fact that Horford and Dellavedova were tangled up, moving backwards like this, and Dellavedova goes down because Al Horford's 6'11", Dellavedova's 6'3", okay, and weighs half of what Horford weighs. Dellavedova goes
It's going to
down.
be very interesting to see how he plays tonight.
I think because you're asking yourself,
And are you telling me that Horford's going to get to play?
yeah, he's playing.
I can't wait.
I think because listen, I'm not even a ref. And I have to ask myself all of those questions when it comes to this play. For a flagrant 1, it is an unnecessary or rough action. For a flagrant 2, it is
It's
deliberate. If
Yeah.
you have to ask yourself all of these questions to figure out if something was deliberate,
This is the third time, 3 games in a row.
I don't think that you can call
It's
that.
too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence.
I don't think that you can call that a flagrant 2 on Al Horford. Because there is so much that you don't know.
Right.
You don't know if that was deliberate. You have to know
Right.
in order to call a
It has to be
flagrant 2.
totally
It
blatantly
has
obvious.
to be defined.
Right.
And that was not defined by
No.
any stretch of the word.
No.
I think it's a bad call.
Mm-hmm.
I think it severely costed Atlanta because Al Horford just happened to have 14 points at that point in
Yeah.
time in the game and was the
What
best
a
player on the floor.
coincidence. Just like Korver was when that happened to him.
I don't think that you can call for that particular play. I think they got the Dellavedova call right. I think that they scrutinized the Al Horford call. I think that they totally threw that one in the water.
Papa thinks that they did that on purpose and ejected him from the game to prove a point.
I think,
To prove a point.
I think so. I could see that.
Yeah? Oh yeah, you messed with my Corver and made him miss the rest of the playoff season. I'm gonna do this to you.
Oh, I think
But it all happened so fast. I
think-
don't think that's what happened.
I don't think
Was there some
for
ulterior
that play-
motive in it? Maybe so.
I don't think for that play that you can give Dellavedova more than a technical. For that particular play, because they are tangled up. Again.
Okay,
if
Chris, I have a question for you. How many times in a row is Dellavedova gonna have to
Okay,
pull a
but you
dirty
can't
stunt
base,
like
but
this?
listen to me. You cannot base a call that you make on one particular play. You have to make a call for one particular play.
Okay, even though he keeps doing the same thing over
You
and
can't
over
do
and
that as a ref. You can't do that.
over. Okay, the front office can,
So that's their job.
okay?
That's their job. They
Okay.
made a call when he did it to Gibson. They made a call when he did it to Corver. They have to make a call for the situation with Horford. I don't think this one was as blatant as the other two.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
I do agree that the front office should seek
And
punishment.
I do not think he should have played in that
I don't
game
either.
because of what he had done to Corver.
I don't either, but let's be honest. It's Matthew Dellavedova. How much of a real impact does he have? Let's be honest here.
He had enough of an impact to take out one of their best players for the rest
I'm
of
talking
the
about
playoff
statistical
season.
impact.
I understand that, but he accomplished his goal though, didn't he?
Well,
Didn't he? Okay.
LeBron James admits to taking an IV after Game 3 because of cramping.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
He was dehydrated. As long as there's no steroids in it. No. As long as there's no steroids in it, no drugs in it, no, why? What's the problem?
Oh my God, we're really gonna cramp again.
He's a big guy.
I'm sick of
He
this.
was running his,
I'm sick of this.
okay. You have to listen for a second. The metabolic and the physical nature of different people is different
Oh, I understand.
in every individual
He's
person.
6'9", 260. I
Right.
understand.
He is not going to retain his fluids as easily as like you would.
Okay.
Or like I would because I have more fat on my body.
Okay.
Okay, he's a big guy.
Uh-huh.
He's running up and down the court. He's sweating
Uh-huh.
like crazy. Your body cramps up.
Sure.
Okay, what's wrong with them giving him an IV for fluids?
Making it public. That's what's wrong with it.
Oh, so you're not upset about the fact that
Why
he did it, but
Are
why
you
announcing
making it public? Are you
Okay.
trying to make people feel sorry for you? Because ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. Kobe Bryant's 37 years old. He ain't gotta take a damn IV.
I don't think LeBron.
Look at Tim Duncan.
I don't think LeBron.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait. I
Then
don't
why make
think
it public? Why make it public?
Because obviously somebody saw it happening and they alerted the media, and he admitted it. Would it have been better if he'd have lied about it?
You don't need to make everything you do public. Do that
Maybe.
away from the media. Why? Seclude yourself. You are LeBron James.
Okay, obviously this is one of the doctors or the medical staff on the team that did this for him.
Okay, so
Right.
the doctor had to tell the GM. Or the doctor had to tell somebody that belongs to the Cavs, whether
Correct.
it be David Black, whether it be the GM,
Correct.
whether it be the owner. Okay?
You're saying it needs to stay within the inner circle of the
Of
team.
course it does.
Okay.
Why?
Do you think
Do
he
you
had?
have
you
to
think
make
he had? You
this
think he
public?
announced it as a statement, I think he probably just admitted to it.
It doesn't matter.
Because he was cross-examined. Okay, you got two alternatives in a situation like this. You admit it because it's the truth, or you lie about it and then it looks like you're
Or
hiding
you don't
something.
address it. Or you don't address it.
Not addressing it is the same thing as admitting that you did it.
Why does
That's
this
the
man...
way that the media perceives
Why
things
does this
like
man
that.
have to make everything he does in his private life public?
Now that
Why?
I don't know.
I'm sick of this crap.
Now that I don't know, but
I'm sick of this.
I think he did the honorable thing by admitting it. If he was, I don't know the circumstances around it. Now if he went out and he said, oh man, I was so dehydrated that I had to have an IV and all that, then he's announcing it. That's different. I agree then. Okay? But if somebody found out about it, or somebody saw it, or whatever, and he was asked by the press or the media, so is it true that you had to have, then I admire him for admitting it.
My point is-
Because by omission, that's the same thing as saying I did something wrong.
My point is there's a history here. The finals last year, the cramp game. When asked about it, oh yeah, man, I was cramping. And people
I
started
don't
to
think
feel
we're talking about the
sorry
same
for
LeBron
him.
James as last year.
I don't care. It's the same name.
Okay?
The cramp game. Oh, I didn't feel too well. Michael Jordan ain't never made an excuse in his life. Kobe Bryant never made an excuse in his life. Why do you think that LeBron doesn't retain his fluids? How about Tim Duncan? At age 39 and is bigger than LeBron. And Tim Duncan doesn't have to say, oh yeah, I took an IV.
But everybody's metabolism is different.
It's not the point. It's the point that why you gotta go and make it public.
Maybe he did, only reason he made it public was to take the element of doubt that he was taking steroids or something when nobody was looking. I think it's better that he admitted it. I think it's better that he admitted it.
He and the Cleveland Cavaliers organization need to shut their mouths. And I'm
I
going to
don't
leave it
think
at
they
that.
need to be volunteering information nobody's asking them about.
Everybody in that
I agree
in that
with you
in that
on
organization,
that.
you have the best basketball player in the world, the most known basketball player in the world. Opinions swirl around him 24/7. There are rumors started about him 24/7. And you go and release something like this?
You're answering your own question because there is so much talk about
Everybody.
him and rumors about him, and because the paparazzi and the media is up his butt 98% of the time. Maybe he was asked, and the honorable and right thing to do is admit it.
And now the media is going to question, oh, well, what was in the IV?
Yeah, but they can prove that very easily.
That's not the point. You're stirring the pot. Why was the information released in the first place? The whole organization and LeBron need to shut their mouths. Because you are running a high risk with that name in your organization. That's
I agree.
my point.
They're looking for any piece of dirt that they
You
can find on
need
him.
to shut your mouths.
I
I
agree.
don't have a problem with him taking the IV. I understand why he did it. It's not the IV. It's releasing the information that I have a
Like
problem
I said,
with.
if he volunteered it, it's one thing. If he was asked
Well,
about
the
it
organization
because somebody
obviously
already
volunteered it.
knew it,
The organization obviously volunteered it. So once again, LeBron James, just like he did in 2007, has to bail the Cavs front office out of a situation again. All you're doing by releasing this information, this has a long-term effect. Why the hell do you think he left Cleveland? It wasn't just because he didn't get success on the floor. It was because the front office drove him out by releasing stupid information, by releasing rumors. He's only signed for 1 year. Part 1 ends here. Part 2 coming at you
Yes.
next.